Today I'm going to be teaching y'all about Herb Burmeister, who was a serial killer in 1996 in Ontario, Canada. And he was a businessman. So it all kind of begins from when Herb was a young child, and he would constantly play with his own urine and poop. And everyone knew Herb liked to play with his own urine and poop for his whole childhood, even going on to high school. So when Herb was a senior in high school, he urinated on his teacher's desk because they got into an argument about Herb's grades. And Herb's father was a doctor, and so he got his son a psych evaluation, like a good father should, especially if he's a doctor. And that's when Herb was diagnosed with schizophrenia and antisocial personality disorder. And did his father get him medication? Did he get him a therapist? Did he do any of that? No, he did not. He sent her to a new school where he then graduated that spring. And then that summer of that same year, which I believe was 1965, he began to go to Indianapolis University. And here's the funny part. Herb actually dropped out after one semester of going there. And then he continued to enroll into multiple other colleges and drop out again. And he returns to Indianapolis University, and he meets his wife, Julie. And Julie, she becomes a kindergarten teacher. She's a very kind, sweet woman. She does end up divorcing her later on. Their marriage was not very good, I would say. But before we talk about his wife, not only did Herb suffer from schizophrenia and antisocial disorder, he also experienced heavy delusions and extreme paranoia, where he was also very dissympathized. He had no empathy whatsoever. He cannot control himself without any therapy or medication with him. And did he receive any of that? No. Did he get any medication? Did he go to therapy? No, he did not. Did he need it? Yes. Like, terribly. Because even though he was married to Julie, he was, in fact, gay. He did, in fact, like men. And he would go to gay bars and he would kill men. But before any of that all happened, it all kind of just begins with his thrift shop. So Herb is really desperate for money. You know, he has no degree. He's been in and out of colleges for a minute. He has no source of income. The only person who's making money is Julie. Unfortunately, you know, like, girl, you the breadwinner. And so instead, Herb decides to, get up, and he starts making businesses. And one of his businesses was a thrift shop. And his first thrift shop went very, very, very well. He became a millionaire off of it. He was able to buy a $1 million 18-acre estate for him and his 3 children that he had with Julie. But under all of this beautiful American dream family was a very dark secret. Herb, he had some form of love for Julie, obviously. Like, he had to. Like, he never harmed her or their children ever. And that's a good thing. Like, he's never hurt them. But he has hurt other people. And it's not just like 1 or 2, it's like hundreds of people, at least. And while he was with Julie, he was a very odd husband. He would refuse to let Julie see him nude. And the entire time they were married, they only had sex 6 times. And 3 out of those 6 times, they conceived their children. Their children's names were hidden, like, off the internet, because I'm pretty sure they just, like, didn't want people, like, Julie didn't want people to know that they were related to him, like they were his kids, because, like, I wouldn't either. Like, I wouldn't want people to know my kid's father was a serial killer. I don't know. That's just a little spooky to me. But he was a serial killer who had a family, a wife, $1 million home, $1 million lifestyle. But under all of that, he was having money troubles, because even though he decided to franchise and branch out, like he was like Walmart or something, which he was not, he began to lose money because all the other stores were not doing as good as his original store, which caused him to lose money, which caused him to lose customers, and it made his relationship with Julie really hard. And so instead of talking to his wife or, marriage counseling, he decided to just go find another. And by another, I mean a man. He went out to go find a man. And he wouldn't just find one man or 2. He found a couple, and he would bring them home to his estate, and he would have sex with them while Julie and her children were out of town, because Julie and the kids would frequently go to visit Julie's parents in Ontario, Canada, a lot, because, like, your kids want to see their grandparents. So every single time Julie and the kids were out of town, he was bringing these guys home and having sex with them in their pool house, because there was their pool house and then there was their main house. And he would tell them, hey, like, do you want to be, like, a little extra freaky and be kinky? And they would say yes. So they would begin to be extra freaky and extra kinky. And, Herb told them they had a safe word. Did he acknowledge said safe word? Absolutely not. Did he ignore them gasping for air? Yes, he would. Every single time he would kill his victims, he would use the same thing, and it would be the pool pumps that they use to pump the pools. Crazy, like your murder weapon's just an average pool appliance. And while he was like doing all this stuff, Julie began to notice like that he's acting a little weird. She's like, "What's wrong with you? You're being a little weird." And he would just be like, "Oh, it's nothing, it's nothing." Obviously not. And Julie then sent him to a mental hospital because like he lost everything. He lost his business. He did get another job at the BMV before he went to the mental hospital. Then he urinated on the manager's desk and he got sent, and Julie sent him away. As she should. Like, as she should though. Like, she's 100% right for sending him away. And he does get out. And he was a copy boy for the BMB. Like, boy, like that ain't nothing. And he got fired in 1985 when he peed on the desk. So by his late 30s, this is what he's achieved. Married, father of 3 kids, mental health struggle, going to secret gay bars and hiding from his wife. Neighbors would notice he had many outbursts, fighting over trivial things. He had never, ever shown his love or any type of affection to his wife ever in their entire marriage. I feel bad for that woman. And he opened a thrift store. He thought it was going to be successful. Crashed and burned in his face. Lost it all. Lost his wife, his children, when he lost all his money and he couldn't afford to stay on the estate. So Julie decided to leave him because, like how could you be with, like, an unstable man who can't even handle paying the bills? Like, that's how she saw it. Like, she was like, "You can't take care of us. Like, I'm leaving you." And she left him. And, when he was going to these gay bars, he would tell people his name was Brian Smart, by the way. And that's kind of weird because it's like, out of all the names in the world, why would you call yourself that? Like, that's the dumbest name I've ever heard in my life. And he was just like a creepy guy. And he was always just lurking around the bars. He was always very welcoming to those who were new, who didn't know who he was. And yeah, he really did not have like a type. He did not really have like an age range. It's just kind of whoever he thought was like attractive at the bar, kind of. And during this time, gay relations weren't very accepted, unfortunately. So that also, I feel like that also put an impact on him, because he also felt like he had to keep it a secret from like other people too. Like, only people at the gay bar could know that he was gay, and like nobody else could really know. And yeah, and so he would just flirt with these guys, you know, get them to come home with him, you know, start sleeping with them, trying to be a little extra with them, and then he strangles them and kills them, and they're gone. And the gay men, so this is the time period. It was 1980 to 1981. Gay men were strangled, discarded, and they were discarded nude on the highway. And this is the theory of the I-170 killer, who they also suspect him of being, because during this time there are timestamps of him being in these spots during these times. And his type was gay, young men, teen, single. He would invite them to his house, a place placed with mannequins that looks to make it look like it was a party. So they would all be like posed like, and they'd just be like sitting there. So like every single time he would bring a dude to the place, they'd walk into her room and just be like, and then yeah, like that's creepy as like, I would not like that. And like that's like, I understand if it was like Barbies or like dolls, but these are just like figures with no faces, and they're just like staring at you. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, and he started killing on his estate after the freeway. This is all a conspiracy theory, by the way. This like may not even like be real, but I just thought I'd add this. But one of the survivors said there was one survivor. I don't remember his name, but he makes them choke each other to heighten the pressure. So they would choke him, he would choke them, and then he would like kill them. And he would temporarily make them think it's a kink, and he would refuse to let go. He said to kill by the pool to muffle the sound. To muffle the sound, you guys. I don't know how I'm going to talk and do this. I'm going to be back. Okay, anyways. He liked the feeling of death, so that makes him a sexual sadist. And he would try to make it hard for them to like find who the victims are, so he would remove their teeth. So it's like you can kind of tell this shit's like, or like he does this and he like plans it, like he knows what he's doing, you know? Like he ain't no amateur. Like he's on that. And then the Julie and the kids do leave Herb after a while. He started to burn bodies as well. And then in downtown Indianapolis, people kept dying. The cops weren't really paying attention though because they were gay, which is real messed up. Y'all gotta care about the sisters too. And there was no calls, clues, or nothing. But one of the key victims is Roger Allen Goodland. He was 33 years old. He went missing on July 22nd. And Herb was last seen leaving with him at a gay bar. His family cared about him. This man, like, these were not people whose families did not care about them. These people's families cared about them deeply, loved them deeply. And Hasan-Nguyen Broussard was also last seen leaving a gay bar. He was 28 years old. Alan and Roger's mothers hired a private investigator, Virgil Vandergill, and John Breyer was one of the first bodies that was found. And there was 10,000 bone fragments found on the estate, which is over 25 victims, and over a dozen are unfound. So that's almost close to like 100 victims. And that's like almost 100 people that he's killed. He might have killed more people before. Gay men were scared. And they thought it was prejudice and bias and that nobody cared. A man missing, living in a gay life. Cops, Virgil was actually seeing a pattern, unlike the police. And the early 1990s, people were eager for answers in Indianapolis surrounding lacking energy because they were gay. They believed that the cops weren't putting a pep in their step because they were gay. Which could have been true. And Alan and Roger's moms did help find him because Virgil went around the gay bars and he was looking for one specific name, and that name was Brian Smart. because everyone would bring him up. He was always the first one they would bring up every time. And he was a classified, organized lust killer with antisocial. Yes, which is crazy. His whole childhood, he showed clear signs of that would affect his future. And Herb was never convicted of his crime, so nobody ever really got justice because he went out into a field and he shot himself in the head. So if that doesn't mean he's guilty, I don't know what does, because to me that sounds like you're pretty guilty. Like, you just took your whole life because you're about to go to jail. But yeah, that's who I chose, and thank you guys so much for listening.